at True North, you spoke to my sister, Lisa, who is a journalist in Europe. And as a result, she came into to True North on a wheelchair, and she left without it. And when she went back after a month or two of eating regularly, even the Mediterranean diet, unfortunately, she's back in the wheelchair. But she knows what she can do. She knows what she's capable of. And I will contact you on your website to learn how to get copies of this entire presentation, because I'd like to bring it to many schools and see who would be willing to show it. Thank you so much. You've changed so many lives, and you're such a beautiful soul. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for the lovely sentiment. Thank you so much. And I believe, as the organizers will tell you, this particular talk should be freely available to rebroadcast wherever you like. So by all means, get the word out. So thank you. And give my best to your sister, by the way.
I will. Can I tell you that my grandchildren, who were born, one of them was born while we were at True North, they're now 6 and 7 years old, and they are completely vegan. They've never had any flesh, any animal food, and they are strong and healthy. So please, all the people who have children, know that that's possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, you are welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for that. And I hope everybody heard, you can raise children on a vegan diet. They grow up big and strong. And
they're happy.
Them. And they're happy kids.
And they care about all plants, all life. And
they care about all of life. How beautiful. That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Yeah, thanks, Kaylee, for that lovely comments. Next, we have Dominique. Dominique, what's your question?
Hi, Dr. Klaper. I really like you. I really like the way you talk without, like you're really a straight talker, and I really enjoy that. And like we've seen in many other presentations, as well as Dr. Rao's presentation, the year zero is coming very quickly. And so I know that some people say, well, you have to be really nice to people and to accept people how they are and everything. But it's like the year zero is coming quick, and we are in dire straits, really. And so I'm really happy that you are going to these medical students with your lectures. And I was wondering, what are the most common questions asked by the medical students during your lectures? Like, are they more like health-wise, or do they actually care about the earth and what's happening there?
Oh, thank you. Important question. The most common questions I get from the medical students are, where are you going to get my protein? You're going to get that one. And if I'm not drinking milk, where do I get the calcium? So they're on that level. Their awareness of the planet is not very great, but you bet I've got environmental slides in every one of my medical school presentation, because I say, this dwarfs all the issues about cholesterol, et cetera, et cetera. But then they have other questions. Well, how do I get my patients to do this? So, I've got Joe meat and potato guy. How do I, open the door in his mind there? And there's a whole art to that. There are plant-based dietitians and health coaches that can help with that. But basically put the food in their mouth, make a dynamite tofu lasagna or pasta primavera, and they say, oh, I could eat that. And, then you've moved them an important inch down that road. So the students, they're aware of the health issues there. They're embryonic in their understanding of the planet. But in every one of my lectures, I show them pictures of the earth and what the current diet is actually doing. And many of them, they're young parents themselves. They're in their 20s and 30s, and they've got little kids. And I think it really makes an impression on them. So I bring that environmental message to the medical students as well. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And you are one of the reasons that I became vegan 4 years ago. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dominique. Next, we have Sherry. Sherry, what is your question?
Good morning, and thank you for your very inspiring presentation. So many organizations that I didn't even know about. I had a hard time keeping up. I'm excited to visit their sites. My question is about the actual term vegan. I've noticed since my husband and I transitioned, and you get very excited about encouraging your friends and neighbors and families. Vegan has become this really ugly politicized word. And I am thinking the longer I'm in this, we need a different term to be more inclusive, like you were talking about, the people who depend on agriculture to feed their families. I just feel like it's very divisive. And I wonder, is there anything going on in your circles to try to come up with some more inclusive terminology and vocabulary so that it's more inclusive, it's not political and divided? Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And you've put your finger on such an important point. And you're absolutely right. When I became vegan in 1981, and I liked that word as soon as I heard it and all that it implied, yay. But then I saw as time went on, it's because many people viewed it either as threatening, or those who are going and eating meat, et cetera, et cetera. But it's become, very well, it's become the holier than thou vegan, judging people and all of that. And there's a huge amount of baggage now attached to that word. And I seldom use the V word at this point. I used it in this audience because I think we're all on a similar level of understanding. But you're absolutely right. And plus the fact, and it's a valid criticism, that just because a person's eating vegan doesn't mean they're eating healthy. And you can live on vegan Oreos and energy drinks, and it's a vegan diet, but you're not going to be healthy doing that. There's a lot of vegan junk food out there. So just like you, I too am scrambling for that word that encapsulates all this without all the baggage of the vegan term. And so we're stuck with these inelegant multi-word label, whole food, plant-based. When that's true, it's whole food, it's not processed junk there, and it's all plant-based, it grew out of the ground. That's a valid description, but it's not very exciting, it's not a very efficient term. Someone mentioned living food, and that's great. I mean, no animal product is living, that's for sure. But bread isn't living, and it's an acceptable plant-based product. So I wish I could say, the term we're now using is, I wish I had that term, but I don't either. So I'm still stuck in whole food plant-based land here. And so if anyone, especially in this vast audience, if you guys have the term that would be the magic amulet to turn the lock in people's heads so they understood it without all the judgmental baggage that goes with the term vegan, I'm open to that. So please send your ideas along there. But till then, a plant strong. So Andrew mentioned, that's a good one. And Rip Esselstyn and the crew came up with a plant forward diet, a plant strong diet. I like that one. Thank you. Eating from the garden. That's a sweet phrase as well. Someone just mentioned, thank you for that. Now, plant exclusive, Cheryl says, plant is lovely. I love plant strong. Whole food plant-based is the alternate here. So good. These are all great ones. Plant strong, I like that. Plant forward, I like that one. And that's more acceptable to the doctors as well. Nutrivive, oh, that's a good one. But it's more to my colleagues if they hear plant strong, plant forward. They're easier than that, than vegan. So yes, let's go for plant strong, plant forward. Yay. Plant predominant. That's a good one, because it doesn't mean you have to be 100% vegan. We should, but if someone wants to hold on a little bit, it's a plant predominant diet. I'll take that right now. If they get their meat eating down to once a week, I'll take that right now. So thank you for all those ideas. Plants only, good. All these wonderful suggestions come out. A plants only diet, fair enough.
Thanks, Cherry, for that. Next, we have Aaron. Aaron, what's your question?
Hi, doctor. Thank you very much for your presentation. I switched to a full plant-based diet about 3 years ago, thanks to all these lectures and conferences. And I want to ask you, if a vegan wants to elevate the health advantages, what portion or between raw and cooked plant-based diet would you recommend? Because there are some people that say that it's not enough to be vegan, you need to switch to that most of this should be raw. I was wondering what is your thought about this, and if you can also let us know your opinion about low sugar dark chocolate and heated and roasted nuts and seeds. What are your thoughts about this as well? Thank you.
Okay, I missed the last part of that. As far as how raw food versus cooked food, the percentage, I'm a big raw food fan. And I think at least a third, half of your diet minimum should be uncooked raw foods. To be a complete raw food, it can be done, but you wind up eating all day, I find, because the calorie density is so low. And you can't really eat, you can lose a lot of the starches as far as you can't eat raw rice and raw wheat, etc. I guess you can soak them. But to make a long story short, I think cooked foods are efficient. The baked potato is a good way to get calories in. That said, an all cooked food diet, I think, is lacking in vitality. So a rough measurement would be at least 50-50. And what does that turn into where my eating style has evolved? I usually don't eat till noon. And after that, and I would urge everybody, I tell my patients, hey, at least have one big colorful salad every day. Have a big honker salad. And that's how I start my afternoon eating day. And I will frequently, we have a big salad in the fridge, I'll put a big bowl of it, and then open up a can of beans or chickpeas and dump that on the salad as well. And it's a meal. And that gets me through till dinner, and we have a nice plant-based dinner, and I'm done with eating for the day. So have at least one big salad a day. And it turns out with those two meals, that is 50% of my diet is uncooked. So do that. But for snacks, use celery stalks and carrot sticks to shovel in your hummus there. There's ways to get raw foods. And of course, fruits are raw. And so shoot for a 50% proportion. I think it would be a good goal to start with at least. And I didn't get the last part of the question.
Yes,
there.
so the last part was about nuts and seeds. So
nuts and seeds.
Yeah, do you think we should soak them in water before eating them? And what do you think about heat and roasted the nuts and seeds?
I'm a big fan of nuts and seeds. They have oils and lignans that we need. And if you're not going to be using liquid oils, which we shouldn't, then get it out of avocados and walnuts and flax seeds, etc. So we've got a big jar of ground flax, hemp, and chia seeds in the fridge. I'll throw a couple of tablespoons of that onto my salad. Or if those mornings I have a cereal, I'll throw them into my cereal as well. But easy does it on the nuts and seeds. Hold them, the nuts especially, to a handful a day. That's it. And eat them consciously. Don't just shovel them in there. One walnut at a time. Put it in your mouth. Make walnut butter in your mouth before you swallow it. Be conscious when you're eating, especially these concentrated foods, the nuts and the seeds. So I think they have a legitimate role in the diet. I throw a handful of sunflower seeds onto my salad there. So yes, I'm a big nut and seed fan, but don't be sitting in front of a TV with a 5-pound bag of cashews shoveling them in. That's not what I'm in favor of. As long as you hold it to a small handful a day, and the walnuts are best because of their omega-3s, I think the nuts and seeds have a legitimate place in the diet.